Hello, family. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for coming. Happy to see you. Today is Sunday, the 31st of May, 2020, and this is video 4. Yeah, Season 3, video 4. So, I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, night. And let's tune in to Channel G. God has a lot of work to do, but we are quickly getting it done. You know, for the first time in history, things on Earth are going to revolve completely. This is the last push from God's children to make the world into heaven. So that's what we're here doing. We're here as we're God's representatives. We're God's hands and feet on the earth. And the name of the game is love. It's not a game. It is serious. It is all about everything we're born to do. And so this is video 4. And let's find out what else we're going to cover here. Let me put on the music real quick. And we're going to keep the time down. 25 minutes is good. I was going to keep it under 15, but as long as we keep it under 25, that's safe too. If we need to, we'll see how many minutes of talking or sharing that we have. This is song number 4 on no copyright sounds on YouTube. That's the end of Tobu from Roots. Or no, the name of the band is Tobu and the name of the song is Roots. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's how it is. Is it on loop? Yep, it is. Now we'll go to song 5, which is something. Can't read it. All right, let's unveil the great news. Let's unwrap the package. It's Christmas. It's Christmas morning, and God has some very special gifts for us to find out right now. And yesterday I was feeling a bit challenged, and I have ups and downs. Not so many downs, honestly. Mostly all ups, but more and more it's all up. But yesterday, for example, and it just takes a little extra thought at that time to go ahead to proceed with the plan of the day and not make some, so God is really helping us at all times. And like yesterday, if there is ever any kind of influence that we feel that other than making us happy, then we know it is an attack, because God doesn't do that to people. You know, the prevailing idea that many people came from, and I think most of the world, is that God will punish you if you do evil, or if you... No, that's not the way love works, actually. Punishment is something that the devil invented. There is no such thing as punishment. Not in God's world. So we just have to... It takes time to get through that. You know, and imagine that we're being punished. No, we're being attacked. The more good we do, the more evil comes against us. And that will end. So we can be happy. I was listening to Xiaolan. She's the one that has a YouTube channel, among many other things, and created the Chinesey way of learning Chinese, as I spoke of in a previous video recently. And she said there's a story in China about a horse and a man who said, anyway, he was always looking, when something lucky happened, he was saying, yeah, we're lucky now, but there could be some worse things coming. But better yet, when the worst things were happening, he said, maybe it's bad, but I think good things are coming. So that's mainly, and when good things are happening, I think better things are coming. That is, I think, a little something that children will naturally embrace a little more, because they don't understand when something is sad. Or, when I first heard about computer virus, I said, what? That's impossible. Computers can't get viruses. It's a machine. You can't give a virus to a machine. It's not alive. So it's just a little sign about the word virus and being misused. Anyway, that was, and then the other one was planned obsolescence. Those are the two things in my whole life of 67 years that a red flag, were red flags to something, crazy, something that makes no sense at all. Anyway, so thank you for being here. This is a very special day, Sunday, May 31st, 2020, and you'll see this on tomorrow or later, obviously, because this is not live. So, yes. And I hope everybody can find the video. It's on a new page now, and I put a link I pinned a message at the top of the page, or a comment under the donation link, or under it says keep in touch easier with, get updates. It says it's an update thing, and it doesn't say anything about Patreon, but when you click it, it goes directly to Patreon, my Patreon page, which has donation levels, and it's kind of pretty because they allowed me to put photos on it. And anyway, Patreon, I like Patreon, I really do. So, and they're allowing a lot of creators to be rewarded for their work, and allowing us not to have to depend on advertising, which is really great. Yeah, because advertisers they can cut that, YouTube can cut off that anytime they want. But Patreon's outside YouTube. So, there's a horizon. Heaven is on the horizon, and the sun is rising on the ho-ho horizon. Ho, 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 ho. It's like Christmas. Merry Christmas. Which is, I'm just learning Filipino since I listen to those tapes every day, all day and all night. Last night for the first night, to just play my MP3. But if you unplug the headphone, it has a little speaker, and it's loud enough I can hear it. If I'm turned the other way, it's a little hard to get the detail, because the English is plenty loud, but the Filipino is not very loud, and it makes it a little tricky. Kind of need that Filipino louder than the English. Anyway, yeah, and so Merry Christmas is Maligayang Pasko. Maligayang Pasko means Merry Christmas in Filipino. That's not the exact pronunciation, I'm sorry, but so, oh yeah, can you imagine what the world would be like when everyone speaks one language? I was introducing, kind of jumped off that point quickly, but I was talking to my fiance this morning before she went to sleep, because it's time to go to bed over there in the Philippines. And I was talking about the land we're going to get, and and stuff like that, because she had an idea, let's buy some land and build a house. And so, but I was talking to her about it, and she just said, honey, it's hard here, and I'm just living in the fields, and And so, it's so hard to even, and she's taking care of our baby too, alone. Well, she gets help. I send her money and she's getting help 2 days a week, so she can at least have 2 days of, not 2 nights, full night's sleep, because the baby's only 4 months old. And I'm encouraging her to get more help now, or another night, and hopefully things will I can keep working and earning extra money, getting extra donations is what I call it, because yeah. Anyway, so we are fixing a big problem that has been seemingly insurmountable, and still is in many people's hearts and minds and all over the world. It's hard for them to have hope. And now that, anyway, I feel that this is the final phase of evil trying to crush goodness in the world, because it knows the time is up, and it's doing all it can, and it wants to do much, much, much worse, and wanted to long, long ago, like in 2012. It's trying to do that anyway. So rather than focusing, anyway, we are allowing mankind to transition into a heavenly world, and I really like to hear news like that people have that supports that. And there are people like Ben Fulford being interviewed by a Dutch couple of sisters that have a news called Fab. They interviewed him, and they live in Japan too with their Japanese husbands, I think. Yeah, the two that were interviewing, but they're from Holland, and I think it was. And anyway, so Ben Fulford's very confident. He said, for sure, they're not going to win. The evil side is not going to win. There's no way. And a lot of good things are happening, and he has sources all over the world, because he was a finance researcher, a foreign correspondent for Forbes magazine for I don't know how many years, and his father was in politics in Canada, but yeah, and so yeah. Anyway, you are here, we are here, and sharing what exciting things that we discovered in the last 24 hours, and preparing us to embark on the next 24 hours, closer and closer to God in heaven, God's heart in the center of heaven. God really wants us here, and it's the only way we can go, really. If we are to move in one direction, there's only one direction that we can go and move. If not, then we're not moving. We're falling. Yeah. So we can be so grateful. That's what children expect, I think, is in their hearts. That's why they're so happy, is because they know there's only one direction, and that's forward, and they're always going in that direction. They don't stop and wait and look around and wonder, well, what's next? That's why they bore so quickly. The children get bored very quickly, because they have to be moving. They know that life stops when they stop, and they don't want to die. They don't want to die. They don't want to be dead, put it that way. So, that's why those long car rides and stuff like that, they have to be engaged. That's why the computer games have been so popular. Children need something to engage in all the time. And sadly, it's that, there's a lot of it has been made into violence, and anyway, so that's all going to change too. Everything will be done first for children. The news, the movies. The first concern is for children, because they're watching the most intensely. The children of the world are watching the world most intensely of all people. And so anything that's not made for children is going to damage them. I mean, if it's not heavenly, put it that way. then, and if it's not made for children, then it's ignoring the needs of children, necessarily. So, yeah, we're going to see more light and love coming in from all sides as we move forward and keep moving. So in the next 24 hours, let us promise ourselves to keep moving. Sometimes I'm nodding off and stuff, and I felt like, oh, I gotta stay awake. And, that may be an important condition to keep. But, yeah. So the overall plan includes everyone and includes everything. So God is very creative. He uses all our lives and the desire we have to meet God and to fulfill the needs of mankind, God's children, to be comfortable and happy at the soonest possible moment. God is really working overtime, full time and then some, triple time. That's it, because full time times 3, that's 24/7. I mean, if you work a 40-hour week. Well, actually, no, it's Saturday and Sunday. See, that's the thing, it's more than triple time because God works 7 days a week. It's 24/7. So, yeah. So, let's, okay, 1858, 54, whatever it says. Yep. So, thank you for being here, and we are going to lift the whole world with our confidence. That's the trip. That's the destination we are headed for. Is 100% confidence and 100% joy. We're super excited because every moment we are connected to God, and God's only desire is to fulfill the needs of His children and to fulfill love. So we are here for that, and let's celebrate. Let's celebrate each day. Let's remember from the next 24 hours, that'll be the last point of our video at 18 minutes here in a second or two. To celebrate, to remember to celebrate every day. Some kind of celebration, because every day has a victory. Sometimes it just, when we're under attack, things can get, it just, some people don't go through that anymore. They've been through it enough for whatever reason. But for the people that are and wish to reach heaven, every person is every bit as valid as the next. So let the happiest people be the people I'm cutting out here. So let's call that a wrap. Thank you very much for being here, family. We have a celebration in order. Let's celebrate for God's sake. God has had, how many celebrations has God had? Reverend Moon always made 6 celebrations a year, I think it was. God's Day, Children's Day, Parents' Day, Day of All Things, more than that. And so let's celebrate for God. Let's make the next 24 hours a celebration that we are running to God, and we have many plans to fulfill God's needs and desires. Like I said in a comment, God is hungry, God is lost, God is alone, and God is too young to find His home because we left God when He was young. God's love grows with us as we grow. So every facet, every time another child of God is created, God needs that relationship. That is to fulfill him. No matter how many infinite number of people are created, God needs that relationship to fulfill himself and to fulfill love. So God has been left behind. So many people do not have God. So now let us celebrate that God, we are bringing God, we are carrying God to the promised land, to the place of fulfillment. We are welcoming God as we welcome ourselves. As we find heaven, God is finding heaven with us. That's the best reason in the world to find heaven and secure heaven on earth before we are somewhere else, before we go to the spirit world. And we will be in heaven in the spirit world, certainly, by dwelling with God here and becoming familiar and pleasing God and satisfying God's greatest needs. That is why we're here. Someone's dinging me on Facebook. Just in time. All right. Love you, family. See you then. See you very soon. See you on Monday morning. Take care. You are the greatest thing in my life. Absolutely. Number one. All right? You, for sure. You yourself. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.